Graphing using the slope and y-intercept. As you can see here, I have an equation and I have the graph of a coordinate plane. Whenever your equation is in the form y equals mx plus b with an understood 1 in front of y, your slope is the m, the number that's in front of x, and your b is the y in the y-intercept. Remember that in the y-intercept, the x is always 0. So the first thing we want to do to be able to graph our equation using this method is we want to solve the equation for y and get it in this form. Here we've solved our equation for y, and we have it in the form y equals mx plus b. So now we want to select our slope and our y-intercept. We can look at the equation and see that m, the number in front of x, is negative 3/2. So our slope is negative 3/2. We can tell that our b is negative 4. And remember, our y-intercept is an ordered pair, so the ordered pair will be 0, negative 4. Another way to remember how to graph is think of B as where you begin. You always begin by making a point on the y-axis at the y-intercept, which is at negative 4, or the point 0, negative 4. Your m, the slope, tells us how to move, and our slope always has a rise and a run. When our slope is negative, we can either let the rise or the run be negative, but one of the two has to be positive, and it will not affect the slope or how the line looks. Looking at our slope, we can either let the slope be negative 3 over positive 2, which means we'll go down 3 and right 2, or we can go up 3 and left 2. We begin by making a point at negative 4 on the y-axis. Here we have our point at negative 4. From there we want to plot the rise and run of the slope. So let's first go down 3 and then right 2. Because our graph runs out at negative 6, I've extended the graph just by estimating where the points would be. And as you can see, I start at negative 4, and I go down 1, 2, 3, and right 2. And where you stop the last time, you make a second point. I've graphed my first points, and just to show you that it will not affect your line, I've taken the same slope and this time let the top number be positive and the bottom negative. So outlined in pink, we can also start at our y-intercept at negative 4, go up 3, and left 2, and then make a point where we stop. So now I've plotted my slope, starting at the y-intercept and then plotting the slope. Now we're ready to draw a line through them. There you have our line. Like I said, whenever the slope is negative, always let either the top or the bottom number be negative, but one of them has to be positive. So begin by making a point at the y-intercept, which is the number for B, and then plot the rise and run of your slope. And where you stop, make a second point, and then draw the line through those points. When you have a whole number slope, remember that any whole number has an understood denominator of 1, so that slope will have a run of 1.